Hello, and welcome to the final part of Step 3, questions 16 through 36. Question number 16. What does faith mean to me? Faith means believing in something without any proof. Number 17. What does having faith in a higher power mean to me, and how do I obtain this faith? It means believing in a God who loves me and wants everything that is best for me. I think this is obtained by making a choice to want to believe and praying for the grace to truly believe. Number 18. What are advantages of having faith and a belief in a higher power? Having faith and belief in God helps me not feel alone, increases hopefulness, and eases emotional burdens. Number 19. How did I feel about God or a higher power in the past? There have been times in the past where I felt far from God, or rather he felt far from me, like I didn't matter to him. Sometimes he feels too big for me, that I'm not important enough for him. I have struggled with feeling ignored by God. Number 20. What is my present relationship with a higher power? I believe in God and pray every day. I still get discouraged, but I am better at explaining to God why I am discouraged, even though he already knows, instead of turning away from him. Self-will to high power's will. We can now accept that our new insights allow us to think and act more appropriately. We become more in tune with our thoughts and realize old behaviors and habits are often centered on our own self-will and inability to let go. Many of us acknowledge our self-will has caused all kinds of trouble. Most of our lives were consumed with self-will. Our decision to surrender our will must ultimately mean our entire lives will be handed over to the God of our understanding. In our progression from Step 2 to Step 3, we begin to have faith that there is actually a power greater than ourselves that can restore us to sanity. This higher power of our understanding is loving and caring. We accept the slogan, God's will, not my will. We learn to apply the concepts of Step 1, 2, and 3. I can't. He can. I think I'll let him. Number 21. What is the difference between a higher power's will and self-will? It is what God desires for me and what I desire for me. Which way am I living my life today? I want to live God's will, but I don't always do so. Question number 22. What have I done to interfere with a higher power's involvement in my life? My way of doing things and the decisions I make without prayerfully turning to God do not go well. I think I set back God's good plans by making plans of my own. Number 23. What steps can I take to know and understand my higher power's will for me? I can continually pray and ask God for the grace to know his will and the strength to follow it when it's hard. I can ask my guardian angels to guide me in making decisions. Number 24. When a loved one makes a decision I do not like, in what ways have I tried to take my will back? I speak my opinion, argue, give unsolicited advice, or express anger. Number 25. What, if any, are my fears that my higher power's will for me may not be what I want? I fear that God's plan involves more suffering. I know that suffering is necessary sometimes and that good can come from it, but I am just tired of it. I want a break. Trusting our higher power. When we learn to have faith and trust, this leads us to have hope and confidence that we will be able to accept any outcome. Trusting in our higher power does not mean we are asking for a specific need or for our own will. We are putting the results in our higher power's hands. If we allow our higher power to guide us, we learn to trust that we are not alone in this process. Number 26. In what situations have I been successful or unsuccessful in trusting the outcome? I can better trust the outcome when it's not something major and I don't have to wait a long time. I struggle trusting the outcome for long-term challenges that may or may not be okay someday. Number 27. Are there parts of my life or problems I am unwilling to turn over to a higher power? No, I don't think there is anything I'm unwilling to turn over to God, but knowing how to fully let go can be challenging. I get discouraged when I don't see improvements happening fast enough. Number 28. What attitudes, beliefs, or fears stand in my way or interfere with my trust in a higher power? Miracles happen to other people, not to me. Other people seem to be better at praying, better at getting results, better at having a relationship with God. I'm scared for there to be no God, nothing higher than myself, but I'm also scared that there is a God, and I don't know how to properly connect with him. Number 29. How can practicing surrender and trust in all my affairs contribute to a better way to live my life? If nothing else, it takes the pressure off of me for having to be completely responsible for everything. If I surrender all to God and things are a mess, it's His mess. Finding serenity. The serenity prayer is a tool that can be used at any time to help us when we begin to feel overwhelmed or drawn into situations where we do not belong. We pray for acceptance, asking our higher power for assistance and letting go of what is out of our control, people, places, and things, and focusing on what we can control, our own attitudes and behaviors. This prayer helps us to pause. It assists us in refocusing and identifying what is within our control and stepping aside from what we cannot control. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I admit there is a higher power I can turn to and trust. I admit I need help. I call on my higher power for help because I cannot do this alone. I believe my higher power can help me. I also believe my higher power is able to give me something I feel I desperately need. Serenity means so many things. I ask for peace, calmness, and the ability to find how to be content in my current situation. I ask for comfort at this moment. I admit I have to accept situations I may not like or believe in. I also admit I may need help to do this. What things do I want to accept? They are the things I cannot change. I stop to think about this. I want to know how to accept them so I can find serenity. Who am I? I am one individual, one person. I want to change so my life and the lives of my family are not affected by the painful experiences that accompany addiction. I want serenity and realize I have work to do to get it. I realize there are people, places, and things I cannot change. Can I let go of the things I cannot change? I see now I will need courage to change the things I can. I can ask my higher power to help me find this courage. Courage is the strength I start to feel that allows me to begin making changes in myself. There is a difference between what I cannot change and what my higher power can help me to change, and this gives me hope. What things can I change? My fears, anxieties, and resentments are feelings I am experiencing that affect my well-being spiritually, physically, and emotionally. I can choose to make a change and let go of these things that hinder my recovery. I believe my higher power will help me make these changes. I can do this. As I recite this prayer, I gain the confidence and strength I need to continue through this moment, or this hour, or this day. Wisdom comes through meditation and patiently listening to what my higher power has to offer. How can I know? What do I want to know? I want to know how to make good choices. I want to know I make choices and decisions because they are right for me, not because I want to change others. That's the key, the difference between what I can and cannot change. Knowing what is my responsibility and what belongs to others enables me to grow and recover. Question number 30. How do the words in the Serenity Prayer help me in my recovery? It can help me calm down when I determine that something is truly beyond my control and I cannot change it. Number 31. How have I used the Serenity Prayer in my personal life? I used to say, where there's a will, there's a way. Now I know, wanting to change something no matter how badly does not always make it possible. I have used the Serenity Prayer to help me accept reality instead of fighting it. Practicing our decision. As we come to the place where we are ready to put into practice our decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of a higher power, it is helpful to reinforce our choices with positive actions. In addition to attending meetings regularly, there are tools to help us on our journey. We must remember our recovery does not happen overnight. Change is a process, not an event. We have many feelings and emotions that do not disappear just because we have made a decision. We have a tendency to fall back into our old behaviors and habits when we did not incorporate Nar-Anon's tools into our daily lives. Number 32. Am I aware help is available, and I do not need to continue carrying my problems by myself? Yes, I am aware. Sometimes I don't have the energy to hear about any more problems, though. I don't even want to hear myself talk about my own. Number 33. Am I learning what recovery and serenity can mean to me? I am. It still feels like I am far away from recovery and serenity, but I understand them intellectually. Number 34. What tools can I use to help in my recovery? I can keep following the 12 steps. pray to God, and read other literature. I may see if there's an online support group to join. At this point, I don't want to commit to weekly meetings. Number 35. What positive actions can I take to reinforce decisions I make? I can trust God, be patient, be consistent, and have self-compassion. Number 36. In what ways am I stronger and happier than when I first walked into the rooms of Nar-Anon? I am sad to know that I can't fix the addict, but I am stronger each time I do not take responsibility for the addict's life, and I am happier when I am not trying to change someone I cannot change. A Step 3 story. I have been a member of Nar-Anon for as many years as my child has struggled with addiction. When I started working Step 3, I made a decision to turn my will and my life over to the care of my higher power. I put my faith in a power greater than myself, and I began to believe my life would get better if I continued to work this program. I came to hope my child, who also has a higher power, would eventually find recovery. At my first Nar-Anon meeting, the group was celebrating their anniversary. Because I was the newest member present, I received a Just for Today bookmark. After the meeting, a member offered me a ride home. As I sat in her car crying, she wrote her name and phone number on the bookmark. This woman became my sponsor and friend. When it came time to work the third step, I told her that living with my child's addiction had left me discouraged. Turning things over to my higher power gave me hope and a new perspective on life. Now I can look back at the years of trials and tribulations with the realization that the Nar-Anon Program and my growing faith in a higher power have helped me to live each day to the fullest, no matter what the circumstances. My child has had several relapses, and with each one my own recovery became stronger and my faith more resolved. I continue to hope my child will find recovery and have as many NA anniversaries as I have had in Nar-Anon. Reflections on Step 3. We have now learned we need to make a decision. This is a turning point in our program. We are not only learning a new concept, but we are asked to decide what we want to do with what we have learned. We are contemplating turning our will and our lives over to the God or higher power of our understanding. We are getting ready to release our control. We are nervous and anxious, but we are also looking forward to the hope, healing, and peace that surrender will bring. Let go, let it be, let God. The key concepts of Step 3 are self-will and turning it over. Self-will is the determination within us to be in control. We have been given the power to choose. If our choices have brought us conflict, pain, hardships, and self-defeating behaviors, we need to surrender to our higher power's will to have a better life. Our higher power plans only good for us, thus giving us hope, healing, and peace. There is freedom in surrender. Turning over our will and our lives over to our higher power means we take responsibility for our actions. We do our part in learning to take care of ourselves with our higher power's help and guidance. When we have accepted the idea of turning our will and our lives over to the care of a higher power, and we have made the decision to do so, we usually feel a sense of peace and freedom. We now understand we do not have to solve every problem for everyone else. We allow others to follow their own path and learn their own lessons. We are now free to live our own lives and concentrate on our own needs. Next, we are ready for Step 4, taking our own inventory. This will help us evaluate our actions and our choices. We will gain insight into the behaviors and habits that have helped us to form our personalities. We will come to understand why we are who we are. Thank you for completing Step 3 with me. Join me next time as we move on to Step 4.